Quote, prove your God is real, end quote.
It's a little bit like looking down a tunnel with very little light at the end. Why? Why? Because I'm stubborn. And you want to know why? Denial.
Quote, prove your God is real, end quote.
You can't handle the truth.
Quote, prove your God is real, end quote. Quote, prove your God is real, end quote. I can no more prove to you that God is real than I can prove to you that I love my family. If you are convinced I don't love my family, no matter what I say or do, will be dismissed by you as invalid. It is your pre-assumptions that are the problem, not whether or not God exists. I can no more prove to you that God is real than you can prove that the universe is all that exists. Your demand of proof precludes acknowledgement of many types of evidence because your presuppositions don't allow it. Well, my friends, my fellow subscribers, skeptics, atheists, agnostic, etc. There you have it. You can't prove God exists. That's it. Everything else that follows that sentence is irrelevant. Way back when, in one of these CARM series, I told you that Matt Slick is going to admit that God is not provable, or rather have his sheeple do it for him. Here is that moment. I can't prove to you God exists. Said twice, followed by, but it doesn't matter, because I can't prove to you this or that either. But the interesting point of this is twofold. First, finally, an admittance that they can't prove that it's true. Secondly, the thing added afterwards can be proven to be true. We can prove that you love your family. We could hook you and your family up to various devices that would read your chemical responses and prove to us that love is something that you guys and gals are experiencing. As far as the universe being the only thing that exists, I think that that statement is warranted unless and until we show that something else exists besides the universe. Perhaps another universe or different dimensions or what have you, but unless we have the data for that, I think that it's okay to say the universe is all that exists, knowing that in communication, certain things are supposed to be taken for a deeper meaning. That is to say, we don't have to preface that sentence by saying, as far as we know, the universe is all that exists. I think that it's safe, or it should be safe, to be able to say that in a casual conversation. In a debate, I would say it, as far as we know, all the universe is all that exists. Because it's a debate, and I have to be more careful with my words. But should we have to really do that in casual conversation? I'll leave that for you to decide. But nonetheless, we have the statement, God can't be proven. Everything else doesn't matter. We have won our point by them admitting this. If only they had done this at the start. You believe something that you cannot prove. Why should I believe it then? There's no reason to. No amount of special pleading, no amount of logical fallacies could ever get me to that point. And when I substitute something else for God, the position is revealed to be ridiculous. This is what is known as argument ad absurdum. If I say invisible pink unicorns don't exist, I think that's a safe statement to make. But what if I said invisible pink unicorns exist? I believe that. I believe it very passionately, and I care about that belief, and I'd like you to believe that too. And as the skeptic, the other person says, can you prove that? No, I can't prove that that invisible pink unicorns exist. So then the skeptic will say, then I can't believe it. And anything else said is irrelevant. Why believe something that cannot be proven? If there was a way to prove any God, there would be fewer atheists out there. There'd be fewer skeptics. If there was as much evidence for God as there is for our own moon, no one reasonable, or even close to reasonable, would deny God. There would be humans that did deny it, because there are humans that think that the moon is a hologram and other nonsense like that. So there would be a few fringe lunatics running around making crazy claims. And that's what I want to focus on. If we took the people that don't believe that we went to the moon, and we took the people that believe that the moon is a hologram, and we took the people that believe that they were kidnapped by aliens, and we put them all together, we'd have a pretty good sized amount of people there. And if we took the religious apologists and we said, okay, convince them that they're wrong. I'll wait a few hours. You come back after you're done. I just wonder how frustrated and exhausted and irritated and upset that they would be when they came back and said, I couldn't convince them of anything. And I'd say, well, now you know how I feel. There's no proof that this is true. I could end right here. I could end the whole series right here. I'd be done at this point in a normal situation. You've admitted that there's nothing that can prove it. So we're done. The only response is to be skeptical of something that can't be proven. That's it. You don't have a choice in the matter. That's the only way to do it. You would do it with any other claim. If I said I have a car that can fly, or even if I just say I have a car for sale, and you want to buy a car, you're going to be, or at least you should be, very skeptical about the condition of my car. And the more things I add to it that make it seem more ludicrous, the more skeptical you should become. And if not, then boy oh boy, I get to take advantage of you, and so does everyone else. Because there's a fly-by-night charlatan out there waiting to get you. There is no secret trick for baldness removal. There is no things that your doctor won't tell you. There are no special hidden words that will convince women to fall for you. There is no way to learn a language in only 10 days. And luminosity won't help your brain at all. There are claims made by advertisers that are untrue. When examined with critical thought, critical analysis, when the skeptic demands that they produce evidence, they offer nothing but testimonials and excuses instead. Being a skeptic prevents you from falling for those scams. Hey, I'm in Nigeria and I'm a prince and I want to give you all this money. Bull crap. You don't. You're not that, and it's not real. God is nothing more than an ancient idea of a scam that propagates throughout the world and changes and morphs and changes throughout time, and that we humans continue to evolve this idea. God will continue to exist inside of brains for quite some time. As technology progresses, as civilization progresses, it will be more and more difficult to hold a concept of God, and it will become less and less important to hold a concept of God. But because humans are pattern seekers, this idea will stick with us for quite some time. I can only hope that we convince enough humans to let go of this idea before those that have this idea bring ruin to us all. With the amount of conflicts over land, because people think that that land is holy, I think it's beyond time we grow out of this idea that a God is out there. And if it is, then it needs to come and tell us. And for those that think that that's going to happen relatively soon, please put on your tinfoil hat and go far, far away from me. There's no proof. Thus, we should be skeptical. We must be skeptical. Unless and until we are offered some sort of proof, some sort of empirical evidence, some sort of test, or at the very least, a logically coherent argument, we must continue to be skeptical of these conclusions. What do you mean it's not over? There's another paragraph? Aw, man, I wanted to end there. Quote, "The universe exists. It is not infinitely old. If it were, it would have run out of energy long ago. Therefore, it had a beginning. The universe did not bring itself into existence. Since it was brought into existence by something else, I assert that God is the one who created the universe. When the atheist complains, ask him to logically explain the existence of the universe. Point out the opinions and guesses don't count." End quote. Really? Really? You're gonna end there? You know what? You said earlier that we don't know everything. So you don't know that the universe is infinitely old or not infinitely old. You don't know that it had a beginning or not. You don't know that it would have run out of energy or not. You don't know if it had a beginning or not. You don't know that it did or did not bring itself into existence. And as far as asserting that God created the universe, you have no proof of that, as you just admitted. The late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, "That which can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence." If you felt like this was too long, I'll make up for it with a very short video where I respond to the whole atheist statements about the Bible paragraph that Matt Slick has here. Just one paragraph offered, because I guess we only say one thing about the Bible, and Matt Slick's gonna tell his sheeple what to say in response to that. There's other things that we say about the Bible that Matt Slick didn't include here. I guess he kind of run out of steam here. So I'll be adding other things that we might have to say about the Bible in that video, which will then make it longer. So it won't be short, and that, oh man, I had a great ending, and then Matt had to screw it up by adding another paragraph. I had a perfect ending. It's all Matt Slick's fault.